chase I need, no chase I need, no chase I need, no chase.
Well, I just want to say, you know, can we all get along? Can we get along?
Did you feel compelled to come out and say what you said?
After the first trial, can we all just get along? Because I'm exhausted and I'm tired of seeing the same hateful thing go on in our country. We'll get our justice. They've won the battle, but they haven't won the war. We'll have our day in court, and that's all we want. And just, I love, you know, I'm neutral. I love people of color. You know, I'm not like they picking me out to be. I do.
What's a nightmare? Do you wake up like
tossing and turning? Sometimes even hearing the voices, you know, that was going on that night. You know, hands behind your back. Lay down. Get down. Get down. Get down, you effing. You know, those words, you know, and so I'll have to wake up and, oh, hey, man, it's all right. Look outside, and it's all green, blue. That time has passed on, but the nightmares and the memories is still there, you know.
So take me back to that night 20 years ago. And you're driving along, you know, you're in your Hyundai.
We were coming from a friend of mine's house.
King's nightmare begins just after midnight. He and two friends, out celebrating, head west on the 210 freeway.
I had just gotten word that my old construction company had called me to come back to work that following Monday.
But the celebration is cut short. State police clock King's car going 110 miles per hour and immediately start a nearly 8-mile high-speed chase through LA neighborhoods. King has always maintained he may have been speeding, but only a little. However, in this rare interview, he sets the record straight.
I was doing 100. I did every bit of 100, and I'm not proud of it.
Why didn't you stop?
Because I had a job to go to that Monday, and I knew I was on parole, and I knew I wasn't supposed to be drinking. And I'm like, oh my God.
Following our interview, Rodney King agrees to relive those terrifying moments by taking me back to the scene.
Coming down to 210.
As we retrace his steps, we discuss those split-second decisions.
My mind was rattling. Either I can get off and go over here to my ex-wife's house, because her daddy is a San Bernardino retired police. At this time, I'm thinking, where can I go? I exit here on Paxton.
So when you exited here, were they behind you? Could you see them?
No, they weren't. They were nowhere in sight. When I came to this light right here, that's when I noticed the helicopter. He's way in front of me, the lights beaming down, going across the streets. My heart is like, my body's hot, and I'm scared, nervous, because I knew it was going to be pretty much a beating from running from him at that point.
Where'd you pull over?
I seen all those apartments over there, so I said, oh, man, let me stop right here. If it goes down, somebody will see it.
Once he stops, they are surrounded by police. King's two friends are arrested without incident.
Put your hands up.
But Rodney King would have a much different fate.
When I opened the door, she said, take 3 steps back away from the car, which I did then. Took 3 steps back. When I took the 3 steps back, said, lay down. So when I laid down like this. And my face was facing this way, so I could see him. And it said, no, put your effing head down, face down. When I finally faced down, he, bam, took the blow, bam, a real hard blow to the temple.
What were they saying to you?
We're gonna kill you, nigga. We're gonna kill you, nigga, run. I knew I was doomed for death. So when he said that, I just looked for a clearance, just kind of like blocking and looking for a clearance. When he did that, I just looked, and then I went up like that to run this way with my hands up to show no threat. And that's when I didn't know, but my leg was broke.
Look closely at the beginning of this unedited version of the video. You can see King does try to get up and run. He appears to lift his arms before falling to the ground. It's this portion of the video that later impacts a jury's decision.
Blood is just gushing down the street. Felt death. You know, the death wasn't far away.
What's it like coming here and getting down on the street and reliving this again?
I can't believe I'm alive to get down there. I can't believe I'm alive today.
King says the chase and the beating last a combined 15 minutes. 15 minutes of hell. He sustains more than 50 baton blows and shocks by a taser gun. But it's not over. Somehow, he has to find the strength to survive. As the ambulance rushes him to a nearby hospital, he begins to find it more and more difficult to breathe.
I was blowing the blood out of my sinuses and out of my mouth so I could breathe.
King's injuries, which include 11 fractures, are too severe to be treated at Pacifica Hospital. So he has to be rushed to the trauma unit at USC Medical Center. His initial surgery takes 3 doctors working 5 hours straight to keep him alive.
It was incredible how many fractures there were.
In a CNN interview in 1994, the ophthalmologist who treated King said some bones were so pulverized they were like grains of sand.
We're surprised that he actually was alive.
When you finally woke up, do you remember the first time you saw your reflection?
Yes. I just started crying when I looked at myself. I was like, yeah, will I ever look normal again?
In severe pain and depressed by the possibility of more jail time, King knows he has to tell his side of the story. But who would believe him? There is no evidence. Or so he thinks.
This is history. This is history. We finally caught the Loch Ness Monster with a camcord.
What the hell could he be doing? What they have done to deserve such punishment?
2 days after the beating, the video is broadcast around the world. Instantly, Rodney King's name becomes a battle cry against injustice. The officer's actions are exposed. King has his evidence, but he has no idea until a nurse tells him.
She said, just stay still. Just stay still, baby. You're in bad shape. We seen it all on tape. She said, just get yourself well and get out of here.
When she said, I saw it on tape, were you like, oh my gosh, there's evidence, so now they're gonna see? Did that go through your head?
Yeah. I said to myself, at least it's on tape. Maybe I got a chance. Maybe I got a chance.
The video ignites a firestorm of outrage. Rodney King is released without being charged. Milton Grimes was one of King's attorneys.
I saw it on TV, and I'm saying, they have got to stop beating our brothers like that in South Africa, because I just imagine it was out of the country.
Did your client ever use the word nigger?
Absolutely not. No one out there did.
And as he's lying prone, he says, someone said, Ian, we're going to kill you. And that's when you see him getting up.
He is still willing to stand up in this courtroom before a jury and say, they said the word nigger, and then say, well, maybe it was killer. I'm not sure.
Lawrence Powell, accused of making the racial slur, also disputed King's testimony.
Rodney King is no doubt a liar. The evidence bears that out.
First you said it wasn't racial, then you said it was, and then you said you heard the N-word, and then you said you didn't.
Oh, no, I heard it. But my mom said, whatever you do, don't say it was racism. So I respect her for that at that time. I know what I heard.
Not guilty.
3 of the accused officers are acquitted of all charges, but the jury is hopelessly deadlocked on one charge of excessive force against Lawrence Powell. A mistrial is declared on that charge.
It's hard to be surprised when you felt that way the whole way. You're just hoping for the right decision. And because, I know I'm innocent, and that was the verdict.
Powell's attorney, Michael Stone, says, in the end, the unedited video worked against King and helped prove the officer's case.
Most of the nation only saw a few snippets where it's the most violent. They didn't see Rodney King on the ground. They didn't see him get up and run at Powell.
Why do you think the jurors came to a not guilty verdict.
In a use of force case, if the officers do what they're trained to do, we did.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. And let me know what you think in the comment section. Please follow the History with No Chaser Facebook and Instagram pages.